Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Thursday morning, the 30th day of July, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Michlin. Thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the airwaves right here in San Juan County, New Mexico. In Durango, Colorado, we broadcast at 103.3 FM. And if you're listening to my voice anywhere else on planet Earth, you've gone to our website to listen, ksje.com, of course, or maybe you're listening through the new KSJE radio app. Or perhaps your smart speaker is playing KSJE. It's great to have you all with us this morning. Welcome. Also, welcome to our viewers who are joining us right now. The video of this program is streaming out live to the KSJE Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel. Coming up on the program today, we are getting an update from the Aztec Museum in Pioneer Village. They and other parts of Aztec were hit pretty hard last week with some heavy rains and some flooding, and so the cleanup has been ongoing. The museum in Pioneer Village has reopened. We're going to get an update from Joan, their executive director, in the next few moments right here on KSJE, so stay tuned for that. Later on this morning, of course, as we do at 9:06, Mick Hess will be here, Roving with the Arts, our weekday classical music program. That is coming your way less than an hour from now. And, of course, a reminder of our coverage of the Connie Mack World Series. It is starting at noon today, and then games at 5:15 and 7:30. All the action from Ricketts Park, as you just heard in the update from Kirk Carpenter. So skip it right here for all the Connie Mack World Series action today as we head into some of the final games of the tournament this year. A reminder, you can connect with us on other forms of social media like Instagram or Blue Sky, X, and now Nextdoor, so we'll see you over there. And if you're a podcast listener, you can subscribe to KSJE Podcast. We publish new episodes almost every day, and maybe discover a new local program in your feed day in and day out. Also, the KSJE Radio app is a great way to stay connected. It's available now at the App Store and on Google Play. Outside our studios at San Juan College this morning, 75 degrees at the moment. We're expecting more sunshine and hot weather. 93 for a high in Farmington today. Maybe a 20% chance of a rain shower popping up this afternoon. Clear skies overnight with a low near 69. It'll be sunny and warmer tomorrow with a high of 96 on Friday, 94 on Saturday, 96 again Sunday, 98 on Monday and Tuesday of next week with overnight lows right around 70 degrees. Back with my guest with more right after this on KSJE. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center. It's physician-led and supported by specialists, so patients can receive the treatment they need right here at home. When every minute matters, dedicated caregivers are here for you. San Juan Regional Medical Center, serving the Four Corners region for generations. Find out more at sanjuanregional.com.
Now back to Studio A and the award-winning Scott Michlin morning program on KSJE.
And welcome back to Studio A this morning. My guest, as I mentioned, from the Aztec Museum in Pioneer Village. There she is. Joan Monninger is here, Executive Director. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Thank you for coming over after what's been a busy couple of weeks for you and your staff and your volunteers and, gosh, lots of people in Aztec, right?
We got a lot of extra people, had extra work the last week or so.
I bet, right? All from that big storm, that rainstorm that kind of moved in, what was it, maybe a week ago Monday?
It was a week ago Monday.
Yeah. Okay. And so flash flooding and heavy rain, as we know, in the desert happens during the summer times, but when we get a lot of water in a fast amount of time, it creates some flooding issues, and that's what happened to the museum and the Pioneer Village, right?
Yeah, you know, everybody wishes for water. We were on drought restrictions and that, and then it all kind of came at once.
Yeah.
Just wind, water, electricity out, debris stuff, everything come washing down Blanco. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
And exactly, and washing into your property, basically.
Yeah. Well, and I will say not just ours.
No,
it came, where we sit at the bottom of Blanco Street and Blanco Arroyo.
Right.
A lot of it had been clogged up. There were tree branches in it. Folks for erosion mitigation had tires along it and all of that came down. I guess a couple of shopping carts too.
Okay.
So
all right. Well,
all of this came down, blocked the drainage, so it just
kind of backed
barreled
up.
over, backed up.
Yeah.
And all of that became mud.
Right.
Just a coating of mud to the museum, down lower, the splash pad, Minium Park, over the building where Feet of Clay and Mustard Seed and where they're at, that arroyo there. That whole parking lot was awash with mud.
Wow.
They had mud in Feet of Clay, and the other buildings.
Which they don't want. They want clay in Feet of Clay, not mud.
Yeah, exactly. They went clay. Yeah,
Right.
they did some cleaning, but I want to give a shout out to them because those folks too were like, "What can we do to help?"
Nice.
They have an event going on tomorrow night. It's their reception, their
Okay.
Monthly reception, and it's a community show.
Nice.
And a lot
So
of
they're
our
open?
friends, they're open.
Okay.
A lot of our friends are in
Kudos.
that show, and my son Josh has pictures as well as Claire and other folks that we love. So.
Okay, very good. But probably not open without a lot of hard work like you've had at the museum and the
Yeah.
Pioneer Village and a lot of other businesses. We shouldn't just say it only affected these few because it was pretty widespread. So I definitely want to make sure everyone understands that.
And we're at the we're at the bottom. There.
Right.
So it all dumped on us.
Yeah.
And
But we know
been
that-
cleaning out.
Right,
So.
true. And as you mentioned, Minium Park was affected, the splash pad. I know they've had to postpone or cancel, I'm afraid, the National Night Out with the Aztec Police Department. That's a big deal, usually on Tuesday next week, canceled.
Yeah.
So anyway, people are cleaning up. But you sent some photos over of some of the conditions that you were dealing with. And of course, we know when it rains,
That was Monday night a week ago.
That's Main Avenue.
Which, the rains come, the wind comes. I was there. I happened to be stopping by that evening and got stuck. But I kind of, looked out the window and I'm checking, and it kind of went from the usual sort of water and some mud to just filling up. And the tractor trailers would come through on the high side and send waves of stuff over. That drainage got clogged, and it just became a mess.
Lots of it, of course.
Very messy. And that was like Jack Scott. Coming to the rescue, I can honestly say he rescued me out of there that night. He helped rescue my car along with my older son, Jacob. But we eventually got out.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
That's my son, Jacob.
And the water's about up.
Yeah, Jack's like, you got to get that car out. And I mean,
Yeah.
on the back end of it, just mud and debris filling up. So,
Lots of, And that's the day after.
That's the day after the mud. Thick
And that's on the
mud
sidewalk.
And the sidewalk,
Out in front of the museum, right?
And then you
so,
see city workers out shoveling that off. And that was just like the first step.
Right.
And then every day thereafter, they're there. Yeah, you got Brett there, our mayor. I think that was Monday. They were shoveling things off. Thursday is when we had a meeting with Commissioner Katie, the mayor, Brett Lanier, our co-interim city managers right now, which is Ed Kotik, and Chief Troy Morris, Yvonne Multeen with the city. And I mean, they just, what can we do? And they had a crew in the next day. They had brought in some contractors. You can see there's the event shed.
That's right, with the mud, a layer of mud now enveloping all the chairs and everything that were set out there for the next movie or concert or what you had planned.
And the concert's going forward. I'm happy to say we've had to postpone some things, and some things are going forward. That is cleaned up now.
We'll see a picture later of the new.
So the concert, which is the Jeff Solon Swingin' Big Band, will take place on August 14th.
Okay.
Unless we get another monsoon.
Right. Very good. But
more mud and what you're not seeing, and again, I think some people on Facebook would comment, well, this is authentic, right? Which is, it is.
Okay,
right?
True, right.
And if they had come out, they would have found out how authentic the smell was all last week. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was rancid.
I bet.
It's better.
Good. But
more mud.
There's mud through the Pioneer Village.
Just covered with mud. And we were fortunate. 2014 was a huge flood, and they say history repeats itself. Or Mark Twain says it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Okay.
Mitigation efforts were made back then, so it wasn't in some ways as bad. Like we didn't have flooding down in the basement and other things this time. And when I say flooding, mud.
You're right. So that's good.
So our cabin, our 1880 cabin, now it's a dirt floor, and so folks can come out because we're open, and it's still drying out in there. And again, you want an authentic experience. If you lived in a log cabin, here's our city folks.
That's the other meeting you had, right? Talking about
that was, and you see Debbie Klein there too, our president. And they just like, what do we need to do? How can we help you?
Right.
And I'm just so grateful to them.
Nice.
What a great group.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that they got involved, and it sounds like the city wants to help.
Yes.
Any way that they can, and your other volunteers.
And these folks are multitasking because they're dealing with Minium Park, the municipal lot. They had problems at the municipal center, the Riverside Park. They were working on a lot of stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. There's a big giant fan in the door of your cabin there, trying to dry things out, I guess, is what you do.
We'll find out today whether the big fan's still there or not.
Okay.
So if you're a fan of the museum, come on out.
There you go. But check it out and see. But I mean, it's just where you're located, where the Pioneer Village is located, kind of at the bottom of all this stuff, where it kind of just drains into your space.
It does. It does.
When these things happen.
And so we had folks, like I had, my board members, like you see Dr. Jimmy Miller there.
Right.
They're, what can we do? We'll bring shovel, whatever. And I'm like, well, we've got a crew in. Let me see. There's Jess Slaczynski. She had some damage over at Park Avenue Elementary too, but she and her son were still there helping. So many people reached out,
Right. Because again, there's not a big staff of the Aztec Museum in Pioneer Village. It's mostly volunteers, right?
There's me. There's Bree, who's our museum assistant, and then we have Nancy, who helps do some cleaning.
Yeah.
We didn't have her do
No, that's above and beyond.
But they did. I'm like, well, give us a minute, and I still had our folks showing up. A lot of calls from people in the community. Devin Neely reached out, and Tori Myers over at Solomon. She's like, what can we do? I can send some people. And
nice.
It really, Maria Compere, she like sent me a text. I've got a shovel,
Right.
And it's really neat to see not only our community there in Aztec, but this wider community coming in and say, what can we do to help you?
Sure.
And
very good. And enough of them, I guess, stepped forward that you were able to reopen this week.
Well, and I will say a lot of it was due to the folks that the city sent. These contractors came in.
Some heavy equipment. Really.
When this happened in 2014, it was in October. We closed typically at the end of October, and so they were just closed.
Right.
And some people saying, I don't know, we may be closed for a month or however long. And a week later, we thought we'd open the main building for sure, but we've been able to open the whole thing this week. So
wonderful. That's great news.
I was there, and I was down, and I came back up the steps, and there was a young man, it turns out, from St. Louis playing our
your painted piano. I saw that.
I walked in like, oh wow, Bree's got on some beautiful classical music. I wonder what's she playing,
Right.
And it's this this young man up there, very young, just incredibly gifted. So it was neat. And then I got to talk to his family, and they came through. And again, it's like that feeling after the storm. The music goes on, the whatever goes on, and it really was a kind of a beautiful, magical moment.
Nice. Well, and again, and it just shows that you get visitors from all over. I know, and you keep track of where they come from, and so it is a stop on people's trips or itineraries through the region to kind of check it out, and it's such a unique space, and folks get knowledge of the area and the history of the area, so it's a great place to get a little bit of that knowledge.
It's very it's very old school. In fact, there's the school that you have up right now,
literally
with
old
Angus
school.
there, one of our former intern and one of our volunteers. It's a way of stepping back in time. In this case, stepping back in the mud. But there, for your listeners or viewers, whichever, that's Jack and then the crew that was sent in digging that mud.
So this is the event shed that we saw earlier, and they brought in this big heavy equipment to push the mud out, I guess, right?
That is an old park shelter from when it was Rocket Park. And so it's very low.
Yeah.
And so, like, every time it's in or out, they had to really be careful guiding it so it didn't run into anything up on top. So,
right.
It's a delicate business, too, despite the mud and the gunk.
Sure. Well, very true. But there's
Yeah,
now
there's Debbie and Jack. Yeah,
the final version, right? Now you've got gravel and the chairs
really
are back.
nice layer there had at one time been gravel there, so
Okay.
they dug that mud out and they were able to put the gravel down. It should make it a little easier for folks coming out to events. And,
Nice.
And we do have some.
Right, as you mentioned.
John Wallace is coming to do his talkies from Santa Fe
Right.
on Sheep in August. So I think it's Sunday afternoon, August 16th. We have had to postpone. We had what we're calling Woolly West Fest.
Okay.
That's in September. A lot of that was going to be on the grounds with sheep and that, and because of some of the damage into those areas, we've just decided to postpone till April.
Okay.
Thankfully, our funders, like the Humanities Council, said it's okay. We just want to work with you. They were terrific down
Nice.
there. And so that now is going to become our opening event, April 24th.
Next season.
I've started my calendar for next year
Okay.
already, thanks to this. You know, I'm ahead of the game.
That works, right? That works. But great to see again, and that's why I wanted to have you on to talk a little bit about how the community has come together, how your supporters have come together, and see what else folks maybe can do. Because even though you're open, I know it's not 100% maybe of the way things were before the storm. And so, are there still some things that that folks can do? I know there's a QR code that will show if folks would like to donate to a fund for just flood repairs things, right?
Yeah. So we're still working on repairing, and we're still assessing the situation.
Right.
But we always need help, and part of that is kind of keeping up on walkways and some of that damage to the property. There's the spillway thing, and again, that coming down from Blanco Street, it all goes in there. It was filled with mud.
It's almost like a funnel, almost of.
Which is designed to
Right.
slow it down,
Sure.
so it doesn't wash everything out. But it got all clogged, and so I mean, we probably need some more gravel and some other stuff, and
Right.
we always have needs,
Right.
And
True. Sure.
and so the funds always help, and that will go. To help us deal with what we're dealing with out there. You know?
Exactly. But as you mentioned, the museum building proper did pretty well, I think, right?
Yes,
If
it
I'm
did.
understanding that correctly.
Some of that stuff came in through the front door. We were able to get, I happened to be there at first mopping in the dark because the
lights went out.
My phone flashlight, the lights did come on, so I did a lot of that. And then actually Jimmy Miller and Sylvia Miller came in the next day, and because it was a stinky mess.
Right. That's what happens. But now again, with the work of your volunteers, we can see the bright red sidewalks are back and the mud is gone, but that takes a lot of work to get it back to look like that.
And again, we're still dealing with areas. I mean, as we get more rain, what's going to happen? Jack Scott was out there really being very careful dealing with the contractors in order to make sure that we have places for the water. So when it comes again, it's not collecting under the buildings,
Right.
with those foundations. So, I mean, there was
Diverting it
a lot.
around.
Yeah, there's a lot. It wasn't just a matter of clearing out mud. It was creating,
Making a plan
making
for
sure
the
we
next
dug
time.
out and looking at it strategically of where is the water going to go next.
Right.
And how do we mitigate this?
Exactly. Very true. And there's the QR code for folks who are watching if they want to point their phone at the screen. I know you're always willing to take donations.
Yeah, we are a 501c3 independent museum. We're on the city building, on city grounds, but we are operated independently, basically. So we have to come up with our own money, and that is through fundraising. That's through our sponsors, our members, admissions,
Right.
Donations, and grants and that kind of thing that we do. But we tend to do what we do on a annual budget of about $70,000 a year, period, which with 15 different buildings, even though, like I said, the main thing is not ours, and this time with the city coming in and being so helpful. We are just amazingly grateful and happy to be open today.
Sure, that's true. I want to go back to that 15 different buildings statement that you made, because those are 15 different, some historical buildings, some buildings that are decades old, 100 years old.
We got 3 replicas out there. So the schoolhouse is a replica, the nice farmhouse ranch house is a replica, and the bank building. But the others either are like the 1880 cabin that you saw that's thick with mud right now.
Right.
That is
But
the
it's
cabin.
legit.
That
was it.
It was a cabin. It's the Hamlet cabin. They're a family that came out here. They're actually, that one's tied to the whole Stockton gang.
Exactly, right. If anyone knows anything about San Juan County history, yeah.
And we encourage folks to come learn about, San Juan County history with us, because it is this incredible, rich history. I've now this new idea for doing some kind of program where we talk about, the troubles I've seen, and talking about like the flood of 1911 and the winter of 1931. I have like this whole, again, I get more ideas than I have capacity to get them done.
Oh, that's all right.
This is a new idea I have.
That's
so
okay.
I have to bring
like
you in
it
for something like this.
Yeah,
but,
historical weather. I like it.
Yeah, historic, exactly. And they used to have like a flag system that was out of the West Sanitarium. Dr. West would run a flag up that would wave way up. And,
to let the residents know what was coming or what was happening? Sure.
Color-coded.
Okay, all right.
But we do. And other buildings are old buildings that have been repurposed.
Exactly.
So it's a combination. But they are wood for the most part, some brick,
Well, anyone who's ever owned an old building or been in an old building knows the maintenance that just regular old buildings need, even when they're not being pummeled
any house at home
by rain or mud or wind.
Yeah,
so
and
this just makes more to it,
old
right?
Properties.
Yeah.
And so and they're full of artifacts and
exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Right. It is definitely a lot, but which makes it such a great place to go and see and learn about history with the artifacts and things like that, because it really is like a step back in time by design. And again, kudos to the board and your volunteers.
Absolutely.
And I know, like you said, a lot of them came out and worked very hard with the city, kind of shoulder to shoulder to get things cleaned out.
Everybody, was helping in some way, and so. We've got a great family there in Aztec.
That's wonderful. And so again, you're open. Some programs have been maybe delayed, but other things are going.
Movie night, Shaun the Sheep movie night was moved to August 7th, which is a Friday night. But other than that, we're got a couple things that I mentioned, but we're continuing on. We're open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4.
Very good.
And we welcome folks from all over the world and absolutely San Juan County too.
As you do, for sure. That's very true. Well, wonderful. Well, Joan, I'm glad you made it over. Thank you so much for your time and for coming in. I know I'm going to have you back to talk about some of these other special events that you have planned as well.
With the people giving them. So
with the people giving them. That's okay. But I know it's still a part of your busy season, and grateful that you're back open and welcoming visitors, like you said, from near and far, which is wonderful.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for giving us a chance to talk about it.
You bet. Glad to see you. That's Joan Monninger from the Aztec Museum and Pioneer Village with me this morning right here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.